Young people have always served as change agents in our history. Alexander the Great, Joan of Arc, Pocahontas, and Gandhi are wonderful examples. More recently, young folks led the dramatic changes of the 1960s, resisting war, enabling civil rights, even trying to create a new world of love. John Barrows understood this when he engaged with the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative. He spoke at our first engagement session last fall.
At the age of 14, I went to this organization called the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative. It had just started up, it was about 3 years old, and I just started hanging around the office. I was lucky enough to find some real mentors at that organization who really helped me out and gave me the opportunity to do some work. The first set of things I started to do was neighborhood cleanups. That's what attracted me, and so me and a lot of folks around the neighborhood would do neighborhood cleanups. We would be positive role models for other youth in the neighborhood. That was a big piece for me, and we got engaged. And then all of a sudden, when I was a little bit older, maybe 15, 16, we started a youth committee. And in that youth committee, we started to talk about what it meant for us to engage other youth and to organize in the neighborhood and get some things done. About this time I had 3 years at DS9, I said we need to start an extracurricular activity that helps us to value ourselves. And this is I was like, youth aren't valuing themselves, we're doing all these stupid things, we need to do this. And the young people in the room, you can imagine, they looked at me like, that's very exciting. The adults said, okay, John, you need to figure out what these young folks want to do. You can't tell them what they're going to do. They said, let's throw a big party in the community and invite all the other youth so we can get to know them. And I pushed back heavily. I said, come on, guys, that's exactly what the adults think we're going to do, is we want to party. Let's do something different. And the young people said, no, we want to party. This is the thing we can do. We can party. We can ask people to come. We can ask other people from other parts of the neighborhood to come in. We can get to know them. We can build relationships in the neighborhood. And I wasn't having it, but then the adults said, John, you got to listen to them. This is how you begin to work with people. This is not a bad idea. And in fact, it was a brilliant organizing event. First organizing event I ever did was a party. And as soon as we started to do this party, I lived in a neighborhood at that point in the late 80s, high gang, high shooting, high homicides. And so the adults were like, youth party, we don't want anything to do with that. So then we started to battle with the adults. And in fact, we convinced the adults that we could build relationships with other youth in the neighborhood that were positive. We could have a great party and not have police, not have violence, not have any of those things that were plaguing our neighborhood at the time. And we did. So I started to learn about this thing called community organizing. Now read it with authority.
The process of gathering people together.
Yeah, good. Let's hear it from Ellen. Not only that you can do something and make some things happen, but you can do something and make something happen that is good. Even when you're faced with really bad circumstances.
This tradition of youth leadership is alive and well, even here in Cincinnati.
I want to introduce you to 4 ladies who have inspired me beyond words that I can even explain. And not just because of what they are about to tell you, but because of many things that they've done. But this is just one example, and I've known them almost 3 years now, since they were in 7th grade, and it's been really fun to watch them blossom.
In the spring of 2011, Norwood was having a levy that was threatening to cut some of our programs, mostly academic, but as well as our library and all of our tech courses. So we decided to do something about it.
So what we did about it, we wrote an article called Why We Are Worth It, and basically we wanted to tell citizens that we needed things to continue higher education, and these things were important to us.
Our levy passed, thankfully, and a lot of citizens would have said our little article might have helped. We just felt like we had a really big impact in our community.
Creating change is about finding our true selves, exploring our strengths, and engaging with our peers and our communities for positive change. It's actually fun, too.